What's going on, everybody? Super excited to announce another member of the STP 1200 Club, our family over at P's and Q's Pickup, your local junk removal specialist, your one-stop shop when it comes to getting rid of things you don't want or need. We take just about anything, including furniture, appliances, trash, construction debris, and more. We prioritize eco-friendly disposal practices as we sort through everything in order to keep as much out of the landfill as possible. But yeah, we recycle and donate what we can and properly dispose of the rest. We offer volume-based, flexible pricing options and can do anything from a single item to a full property clean out. Give us a call or shoot us a message at 615-995-9881 to schedule your free, no obligation estimate today. Huge shout out to the team at P's and Q's Pickup, Matthew, Pookie, and Haley. We greatly appreciate y'all. Super excited to have y'all as members of the 1200 Club. Y'all be sure to stay tuned for some great content from these folks. Their social media game's already on point, but excited to have them in studio utilizing the benefits of the 1200 Club. Huge shout out again to P's and Q's Pickup. Be sure to check them out. Just Google P's and Q's Pickup and you will find the best junk removal specialist here in Middle Tennessee. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spread the Positive podcast. I am your host, Trent Denson, founder of Spread the Positive and STP Productions, where our mission is to bring light to what's going right and to showcase and facilitate efforts that are making a positive impact in our local communities and beyond. Be sure to check us out, spreadthepositive.net. And also, if you're looking to get involved with the STP Podcast Network, please reach out and just check out all the amazing shows that are on the network. We continue to grow. We continue to build. Be part of the solution. Be part of what's going right. Welcome to the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Spread the Positive podcast. Man, got another STP 1200 Club spotlight. These are my favorite these days, man. Means so much to have folks like my guy, Michael Gant with Booker Do It, join the 1200 Club. We're going to give y'all a little backstory of Michael's, or just tell Michael's story basically and get into all things Booker Do It. But super solid guy, believers in business. What are you? The treasurer or vice president? Vice president. Yeah. That's right. I knew that. But yeah, man, Michael, me and Michael have hit it off ever since he joined BIB, and always got to give a shout out to BIB, 7:30 to 9. Every Thursday morning at Cedar Glade Brews, always looking for visitors and people to join the group. Awesome way to start your Thursday, all the above. So shout out to Believers in Business. But without further ado, man, I got my guy, Michael Gant, in the building. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. A little anxious to get started.
Yeah, man, I know. We've been talking about this for a while. You're also on like a crazy cleanse right now, which is, you were telling me off mic. So we got a little caffeine deficiency and some other stuff, but we're going to fight through it, right?
Yeah, so it should make for a great show.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, man. Well, typically I would like to do these, man. Take us back. Man, give us kind of the, early childhood, early passions, and we'll take it from there.
So, early childhood, born, raised in northern Georgia, Holly Springs, Canton area, and was there until my mid-20s. But, the early passions were basically getting out in the woods.
Yeah.
Getting out in the woods, banging on some trees.
Let's go.
Playing in the creek and all that. So I was always outdoorsy a lot.
I love that.
As a kid. And if it was raining too much for me to be outdoorsy, my father, who is still system admin for Teachers Retirement System of Georgia.
Oh, wow.
He used to bring in old PCs that they were going obsolete.
Yeah.
They were just going to throw them away. So I'd break a computer inside, and then I'd go outside and break a few branches outside.
Just how you're breaking stuff. Yeah. I love it, man.
Yeah, that's how you learn sometimes.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you've always had computer stuff, right? Like that's been a common thread your whole life. So pretty big on the computer stuff,
Yeah,
so to speak.
It's been a big hobby of mine.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a kid, a
I love that.
teenager, and everything.
So you can like build them from scratch and stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
I like messing around with operating systems and hardware and all that.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So just out in the woods early, having some fun, messing with computers, all the above. Northern Georgia, it's like mountains, right? It's mountainy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Holly Springs is right below Ball Ground, which is kind of the beginning of the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah.
So when you look out, I still remember going, 575, going towards, Riverstone on the end of 575. There was this peak that you'd go over.
Nice.
And when you went over it, you could see just the Blue Ridge Mountains
Let's
across
go,
the background.
dude. Let's
it was
go.
Beautiful.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And man, if I recall correctly, you got ties to my neck of the woods, right?
I do.
Like Asheville, Weaverville.
Yes.
Man, talk to me about that.
So my grandfather, my mother's father, he was actually born and raised up in Weaverville.
That's so crazy. That's so wild.
His father and his mother met there.
Okay.
And they went on a date one time in this apple orchard on the side of the mountain.
Dude.
And before they ever got married, my great grandfather said, I'm going to buy you this orchard.
Wow.
About 10 years later, they bought that part of the mountain.
Wow.
And built a house and everything, and that's where my grandfather was raised.
That's so crazy.
I used to go there every year as a kid.
Nice.
To go visit.
Okay.
Awesome.
Man, that's wild. Shout out to Weaverville, man. That's my hometown,
Yeah.
so that's wild.
It's a great place.
It really is, man.
Yeah.
Great little town. That's so cool. What's it called? I feel like, is it like Reems Creekish area or?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I was like 10, 12
Okay.
when I was going.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Anyway,
but
I feel like, well, there's a bunch of apple places around, but
yeah.
my buddy, shout out to Will Maney. He still lives in that area, and I'm pretty sure they have an apple spot on his property. So anyway, shout out to Weaverville. That's what's up. And your grandfather. That's really crazy. Small world after all, man.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into like high school, college, man. What talk to us about those years.
So high school, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do at the time. I was just trying to get through high school, like most high schoolers.
Most of us, yep.
Yeah, I was waiting for the final bell to ring so that I could, eventually just kind of get home. Yeah. But throughout high schoul, I did a lot in AutoCAD and auto drafting and design.
Nice.
And I actually won a competition, a state competition for AutoCAD and design.
Nice, man.
It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Never did anything with it, but it was cool. But after that, I went out, and when I got into college, it just didn't click for me, honestly.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's levels to it.
There's levels to it.
Yeah.
So I went to Kennesaw State University for a semester and realized that this wasn't the right fit for me.
I got you.
And I took some time off to figure out what I wanted to do.
Nice.
And in that time off, life kind of caught up with me, and I never really found the chance to get back.
Sure.
Unfortunately.
Got you.
But it was still a good experience for what I had.
Yeah.
And I did go back for one other semester shortly before a couple family things happened.
Sure.
That kind of forced me to get back out again, but it was always a good experience to be there, and I really wish that I had the time to go ahead and go back and finish.
Sure. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Well, I know you got a long history in retail, and you've done a lot in that space. So talk to us about that.
So I worked for a long time with a big box grocery store. I was what's considered a department head for that store. And after a while of being there and getting promoted eventually, I was able to go into what's called the expanding market.
Nice.
So the expanding market is basically where that store was growing out into areas where it hadn't been before.
Nice.
People didn't know the culture of that store.
Sure.
So what I did was I would go out and I would help open new stores and train people in the culture.
Dude, that's awesome.
And how to do things. And I even got the chance to be in charge of my own brand new departments in a few different cases where, you know, you built it from nothing into a profitable entity of its own inside the store.
Yeah.
As well as helping to manage the store itself.
That's awesome.
So, you know, at times I was in charge of, you know, 25, 30 people, and at other times I was in charge of over 100 people.
Wow.
It just depended on what.
How old were you?
So when I first got promoted, I was about 28.
Okay.
So I was 28 in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Shout out to Raleigh, man. We got so many ties.
Yeah,
It's
right?
weird. That's spent a lot of time in Raleigh too.
Yeah. No, I was on the south end of Raleigh, where what is it, 440?
Yeah.
Hits, goes off.
Yep.
Into 40 out towards the coast.
Yep.
Was it Garner?
Yeah, Garner, Cary.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was right on the line where Garner and everything was. But
Okay.
I was still like a good 5-10 minutes from drive from downtown.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is kind of great. Raleigh's like interstate system's kind of wild.
It really is.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
like
it, though.
yeah, it's like super connected. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've talked off mic a lot about your time in that world, and I think it really was a great foundation for what you're doing now, because it's everything you're doing now. Right? It really is.
It really is. You know, because one of the biggest things that the organization I was with does is they do intense training for financial understanding as well as management understanding.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why the company is so successful,
Right.
as it is right now.
You don't want to shout them out, or?
I don't know if I can.
Oh, okay. Touche. Gotcha.
Yeah. But so the store that I was at in Raleigh, it was the first store in Raleigh.
Okay. That's
There
wild.
There was a few stores around there, like in Cary.
Yeah.
But this was the first one that was in Raleigh.
Raleigh proper. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't quite downtown though.
Sure.
But I got trained by my retail improvement specialist.
Okay.
And this person was in the process of being kind of recertified in their training. So the next rung up, which is the retail coordinator, was also training me.
Okay.
And then shortly after this person trained me, they got promoted to retail coordinator.
Gotcha.
So I like to think I got trained by 2 different retail coordinators.
That's sick.
Which they're in charge of multiple states.
Wow. Okay. That's insane.
On, you know, financial understanding, financial literacy.
Wow.
When I first started with the company, I understood basics.
Got you.
But by the time I had finished training in my promotion into my department head role, I had really come to have a vast understanding of financial awareness, where I was able to train other department heads who were struggling in that aspect.
Got you.
Or to help grow others to take my place in the future.
Sick.
And it was one of my favorite parts about the business was training people, teaching people how to understand what the numbers actually mean on their P&L.
Yeah.
What does the balance sheet mean? Why is inventory important? Why do we consider inventory in this specific way?
Right.
You know, what is cost of goods sold?
Yeah.
You know, and how
Big
can you
COGS guy.
forecast for yourself?
Yeah.
Because if you can't forecast, if you can't understand these things, then there's only so much success you can grab.
Mm.
You know,
That's facts.
It's the old understanding of, you know, there's a certain demand and skill that will get you places.
Sure.
Without having that understanding.
Got you.
Because you're just too good to fail.
Right. That's good, man.
But that also means that you aren't grabbing all that you can. You aren't getting all that you could out of the business.
Gotcha.
Because you're just too good to fail, so you're just not failing.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's still that next level.
Yeah, but then there's that next level, that growth that you could be tapping into that you don't know how to.
Sure.
Because you don't know how to read what the numbers are.
Yeah. Well, what a segue. What a segue, man. What a segue. So that kind of led to Book or Do It, correct?
Yes. I as much as I really enjoyed working for the company and as much as they did for my family, I realized I wanted to do something for myself, for one, and I wanted to be home more often.
Yeah.
And I started looking at a few different things, and my grandfather, who
Yeah.
in Weaverville, he was actually used to be a CPA.
Okay.
So I knew the world pretty well.
Okay.
And he owned his own bookkeeping firm in Woodstock, Georgia.
Okay.
So I talked to several different bookkeeping friends of mine and got a really good idea of what it was and realized this is what I'm doing already.
Right. Yeah. That's hilarious. That's great.
It's just with a few extra steps.
Sure.
So I did some studying on exactly how I'd want to implement the business, and I got it started. It was November of 2023 when I consider having all of the foundation for the business set up, and I was just refining things, but I don't really consider myself going to business with this until mid-February.
Okay. 24.
Of 24.
Gotcha.
Right.
Well, man, that was, is that pretty much when you joined BIB?
It was pretty close.
Yeah, it was a few months in, I guess.
Yeah, it was a few months in, and I had no clients, and
right.
I wanted
Gotta start somewhere.
Right, and my whole goal for the first 6 months was network. Like it was my job.
Yep, it was. Yeah,
because it was.
Yeah, 100% been there.
So I went to a networking event every single day of the week, and I wanted to join a referral based group.
Yeah,
and that's when I had BNI.
Yeah.
Or BNI, and from BNI I heard about BIB.
Nice.
And BIB it connected with me better.
Yeah.
Just because it was better. I don't want to say better people, but it was.
Yeah.
It was people that I could reach out to.
Sure.
In a easier fashion.
Sure.
And that were understanding in different situations.
Sure.
And I could actually talk to them as opposed to it was all business.
Sure.
So it was more personable.
Yeah, that's what I love about BIB too, man. Like it's I've done the BNIs, I've done a lot of different groups over the years, and definitely a time and place for all of them. But yeah, dude, it's something special about BIB. It really is.
Yeah.
Like just the way you leave, the way you leave each day or each Thursday, just like, everybody's there obviously to refer business and do that, but it's like literally like church, it's like it's bigger than business. It's your faith. It's like really who you are versus just your business. And I love that, man.
It's like a good 50-50.
Yeah. It's a great mix, man. And we got a good group, man. It's been really cool. Seeing it grow. And I remember that group, when it was BNI, like I visited a few times, and it was some of the OGs that are still there. It's pretty wild to see how long and just how much it's changed for the better, in my opinion. It's kind of dropped the other BNI, or just how they transition from BNI to BIB is something that's really awesome, man. So that's awesome. So BIB was kind of the first referral group, and you're networking like crazy.
Yes.
Book or Do It's in its infancy. How was that? How was that time? This episode is also brought to you by Ron Young over at Eagle Communications. Eagle Communications provides the tools for companies to be more productive and safer from cyber hackers. We work with over 350 suppliers so we can provide a true solution based on a company's needs. Our services are business phone and voice over IP solutions, internet services, Wi-Fi network, cybersecurity, and any technology that a business requires to operate. Work with a company that has over 35 years of experience. Give us a call at 615-278-9896 to find out how we can help. Huge shout out to Ron for his continued support for the STP network over the years. Grateful to have you as part of the STP 1200 Club, Ron. Thank you so much. Was that time?
It was stressful.
Yeah.
I set myself up with a runway to be able to focus on the business itself and focus on growth without having to worry about picking up a second job right away.
Sure. So smart, man. That's such a testimony to entrepreneurship as a whole. Like,
yes.
Shouts to you, man. You did it right for sure.
Set yourself up a runway.
Yeah.
And from experience, if you think you need X amount for your runway, double it.
Yeah. that's so true.
just saying. But it was stressful. It was because I saw the wall that I was running towards.
Yeah.
You know, and I was running headlong towards this dead end, and trying to build a business from scratch that
so hard.
You know, was technically an industry I'd never been in before.
Sure.
Even though I understood it.
Right.
And getting people to accept me as someone who could take care of their business for them.
Yeah, that's
understand it.
It's a big ask.
It's a very personal ask.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
It's like, you know, hey, let me take care of your baby for you.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, you know how you pay the bills? Let me track that.
Right? Nothing to it. It's just a small ask. Yeah, just let me know the most intimate things about your whole entire life, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I fumbled with it when on my first few clients, I fumbled with proper onboarding. Sure. Because I knew what I needed, but I didn't want to ask for a bunch of stuff up front. Sure. And shock them. And I realized that was the wrong thing to do.
Dive a little deeper into that.
So there's certain parts of information that I need in order to be able to do my job properly.
Yeah, correct.
Otherwise, I'm going to be emailing, calling, bugging you on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So when it comes to trying to figure out exactly what I need, I have an entire list of things that may or may not pertain to a client. You know, there's certain basic things like, you know, an EIN.
Right.
That I would need.
Sure.
That everybody has.
Right.
But there's, you know, payroll information that not everybody has. There's, you know, different banking accounts or applications that are connected to QuickBooks that they may not have.
Sure.
Or they may be a nonprofit versus a regular for-profit business. Yep. And all of those things require different documentation, or, you know, they may have loans or may not have any loans.
Sure.
And so instead of listing out the things that I needed, I got started and I asked for things as I need them. And I realized that was holding back on what I was able to do for them.
Got you.
And so, you know, over the course of the past year, you know, year and a quarter or so, I have refined how I go to business with a new client.
Sure.
And one of the aspects is, instead of asking for things as I need them, I literally have a giant list of things, and if it's something I know for sure that they don't need to give me, I take it out of the list, but then I send it to them and I say, hey, look, some of this stuff may not pertain to you. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. But if any of this might, and we may have not talked about it yet, and I haven't stumbled on it yet, but there's something that's kind of close, go ahead and throw it in there.
Yeah.
You know, worst case scenario, I don't need it.
Right.
You know, but it's still, you know, let me see your bank records. Let me see your EIN. Let me see your loans. What kind of debt are you in right now?
Right.
It's kind of a hard ass sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, I can only imagine. That's got to be tough. So starting out, it was kind of tiptoeing in, and then you're like, I can't do this. Like, we got to just go. Like, if we're in, we're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're in, we got to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, I feel that. Well, that's awesome, man. Like, and from what I mean, it sounds like you're having some really great success. You're building clientele. You're gaining clients. You're gaining reputation. Gaining kind of a little market share, if you will, around here, which is huge.
Yeah.
And there's obviously room for folks to step into this place. Because, man, I'll be the first to say, what you do is like pulling teeth. Like, it's so hard for me to do it, and I've managed. My CPA probably hates me. Actually, he doesn't hate me. He just dreads seeing me coming, and it's always a hefty check to that guy. But
Yeah.
shouts to Kevin, man. He's awesome. They've done so much for me. But
Yeah, Kevin's a good guy.
have you met with him?
Yeah, I met with him.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I met with Kevin before. He's last summer when we were talking, he was talking about how he needs more CPAs. And he was like, are you a CPA?
No, don't know.
I'm a bookkeeper. I don't do taxes, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's the
Talk
one.
to us about the difference between those two, because I feel like that's a good segue right there.
It's one of the things that is very confusing.
Yeah,
it really is. So there's a few different levels. There's bookkeeper, there's EA, and there's CPA, and you can debate the difference between an EA and a CPA if you want, but realistically, an EA and a CPA are just about the same.
What's EA stand for?
Enrolled agent.
Enrolled agent.
Took me a second.
Yeah, gotcha. Enrolled agent. Okay. Yeah. I got you.
So an enrolled agent has the majority of the ability of what a CPA does.
Okay.
Where a CPA takes a 4-year college degree.
Okay. And
EA,
a hefty test.
And a hefty test.
My dad was a CPA for a long time.
An EA, there's no college degree required to be able to gain an EA. In order to be an enrolled agent, all you have to do is you have to go through and study. There's some course hours that you have to log for the different parts of the test, because there's 3 different parts. And then you have to take the 3 different parts of the test that are extremely detailed.
Yeah.
And if you...
God, sounds awful.
I have the EA course because I was looking at the possibility of becoming an EA.
Sure.
And the more I dug into it, the more I realized I didn't want to really touch taxes, because that wasn't something I was as versed in, as well versed in, and I didn't want to come to somebody and say, "Hey, I can do your taxes," and not be sure myself.
Good. Smart.
So you have EA and you have a CPA, and so a CPA does have some things that they can do outside of the realm of an EA. But a bookkeeper is really, that's the nurse to the doctor.
Got you. That's a great analogy.
You've got doctor, CPA, doctor, EA, and you've got nurse, bookkeeper.
I love that.
That's gonna gather all the information, coordinate with the doctor to be able to take care of you the best of their ability.
That's awesome.
And really, if you don't have a bookkeeper and you just go to your CPA, you're losing out on something.
Okay.
Realistically.
Sure.
Because CPAs, it's almost a dying breed.
Yeah.
Realistically, one of my friends who is an EA, he goes to some of the different conferences for CPAs and EAs, and every time he goes there, he's like, "I am the youngest person in the room by far."
Yeah.
Everybody else looks like they're about to retire.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where CPAs are so overworked.
Yeah.
Even some of the younger CPAs that I work with, they talk about how they are so overworked and they have to push things back just because of the amount that they have to do.
That's crazy. God, that sounds so hard.
Yeah.
Seriously. Oh man.
And so every CPA I've talked to, they all agreed on the same thing. Not to be, negative to it, but they tend to make the books look good enough to be able to file.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily dig as deep as what a bookkeeper would do.
Got you.
Especially if you have one on a monthly basis. They're trying to get to the next client because they have 100 different clients they got to go through.
Jeez. That's terrifying, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and it's not that they're trying to do anything wrong or or have a disservice. It's just the fact that they can't do it all.
Right. That's crazy. It's a little scary. It's actually really scary.
It's one of those things a lot of people don't really realize. They think, oh, I got a great CPA.
Right.
I'm sure he's a great CPA.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting the best out of your taxes.
Sure. Wow. So that's where Booker Do It comes in.
That's where Booker Do It comes in.
And talk to us about the name.
So it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do for my name.
Yeah, I love this story.
It really did.
Yeah.
And I have been a big gamer for a long time.
Yes.
And one of my favorite games of all time is this game called BioShock.
Okay.
And in one of the games, the main character you play his name is Booker Do It.
I love that. I love that. I love that so much. That's awesome.
And so I was taking a break one day, and I was gaming up a little bit. I was on some BioShock playing around, and one of the other characters in the game is constantly throwing stuff at you. So she goes, "Booker, catch!" And I just heard that, and I go,
"That's it.
Booker Do It. Booker Do It."
Booker Do It. Dude, I love that.
I immediately went to the Tennessee website to make sure it wasn't already trademarked.
Let's go.
And as soon as I figured out it was clear, I put my name on it.
Dude, that's so great. And it's perfect. I think it's so good. Like it matches because it is like you're a bookkeeper, book, and you're doing it.
Exactly.
I love that so much. That's one of my favorite. I love that so
let
much.
Booker do it, you know?
Let Booker do it, man. That's so good. And that's what you're doing, man. And talk like what's your ideal client? What would help? What are you looking for? How can people get involved? I know that's a lot of questions, but
it's
kind of one.
But you know, my ideal client is typically in the food and retail space,
right? Just
because that's where I have spent the majority of my life for a long time. You know, before the previous company that I worked for, I was with them for a good almost 13 years.
That's wild.
And was extremely successful and very well known in the Southeast, from Florida to North Carolina and parts of Virginia.
Nice.
Before that, I was the manager of a coffee shop and
took
care of all the finances and grew it by 30%.
Let's go.
And that was when I was 20. Yeah, 20 and 21.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So it just comes to you. Like
I was lucky. Shout out to the coffee shop.
Sure.
It used to be. It's called It's a Grind.
I love it.
And when I first started working there in high school, it was a grind.
I bet.
But I grew to love and appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the owners that took over while I was there and eventually promoted me into being the general manager.
At 21.
Jay Wright.
Okay. Shouts to Jay.
Shout out to Jay. He actually taught me a lot in business that I did not understand.
Sure.
And some of it I didn't understand that he was teaching me.
Yeah.
And I look back and I go, oh,
man,
that's what Jay was talking about.
Right.
That makes sense now.
Wow. That's cool.
And so I had a good mentor.
That's so cool.
In that helped me with growing that business and gave me a taste of understanding.
Yeah.
And it was actually in a public shopping center.
Okay.
Which is where I got, is where I got to know a lot of other people.
Sure. Man, that's cool. So, ideal client, food retail.
Yeah. Food retail, anybody who has to deal with inventory.
Okay.
Because inventory is one of those things that not a lot of people understand or do properly.
Sure.
Just because there's really specific aspects to tracking inventory that the IRS wants to see, for one, but there's ways of making sure that you're actually pricing your products, your services, your goods properly
Okay.
while managing your inventory. And that goes back into COGS, cost of goods sold.
Right.
So if you're not managing your inventory properly, if you're not doing regular inventories where you're tracking your inventory, then you're going to have a problem.
Sure.
So, and I've run into a few different people that have had some issues with their inventory, and I've been happily able to fix.
That's awesome.
And it's really helped them out.
That's amazing. So anybody with inventory, hit my guy up. And food and retail spots, which are plentiful around here.
Oh,
so sounds like you're in a good spot, man. I think that's always like being able to niche it down. I mean, that's everything. And it sounds like, I mean, and that's such a, yeah, dude, you're in a great spot. I'm pumped for you because I think you're really kind of coming into your own and being able to, like, hey, I've already done this for a lot of people, and like, if you just trust me on this, I can show you how to do this properly, man. That's what's up, dude.
No.
Congratulations.
I forgot to mention, I actually have 3 nonprofits that I work for.
Yeah. Shout out to talk to us about that too.
That was something I didn't really expect to get into.
Yeah. How did that happen?
My very first client.
Okay.
I went to a BNI.
Yep.
And it was the first time I ever visited. Somebody had talked me into going from another networking, spin-off group that I checked out. And when I went there, after the group ended, this person came to me straight away and said, "We need to talk."
Beautiful. Love to hear it.
We sat down a few days later, and they told me, I've been having problems with my bookkeeper. I am trying to get somebody to take over the books for the beginning of the year, and I have been looking and having a hard time finding anybody. And then you show up to BNI.
Yeah.
So I
That's
actually
awesome.
just met with them yesterday.
Nice.
We're still working together.
That's awesome.
And they've already been able to grow a lot from where they've been. And from there, I picked up another nonprofit that I work with. It's a small deal. They honestly, I do their books for free just because it's a small deal. I believe in what they're doing.
That's awesome.
And it's easy enough that I can take care of it real quick.
Nice.
So I was happy to be able to say, hey, look, until y'all actually start making money,
sure,
it starts being more complex. I got you.
That's awesome, man. Very STP of you. That's what's going right. I love that.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. Giving back to the community is extremely important.
Absolutely.
It's extremely important to me. It's one of the things that I like from teaching people when I was with the organization on how to understand finances and be able to grow and take my place so that they could make more money in the organization to better take care of their families.
Yeah.
Teaching business owners who wouldn't otherwise get the knowledge of how to understand these financial documents and grow from it.
Yep.
Or people who don't have the money to be able to afford good bookkeeping financial records to be able to get the good financial records.
Yeah.
So it's something that's extremely important to me to be able to add value in every person that I work with. That's
awesome, man. That's what it's all about, man. Yeah, that's beautiful. Love that. That's actually a good segue. I always like to ask folks, what's going right? That's the tagline, bringing light to what's going right. So in your world, what would you say? Obviously, some of those nonprofits are a great example.
Yes.
What else would you say is going right?
See here. I as far as what's going right, I'm trying to figure out the right way to answer the question.
I know it's a tough one.
Yeah, especially in this day and age.
Right.
Working with nonprofits has been a lot of fun.
Yep.
Picking up some different clients. Working with a few different CPAs.
Yeah.
I told this story at BIB. I think it was last week I told this story.
Yeah.
Where I had someone who I just did a quick cleanup job for.
Yeah. They're freaking out.
And they got a nasty hearing from the IRS because, I had done the beginning of the year to current, and the previous year had gotten messed up. And I was able to help them out by connecting them to the right CPA that could quickly resolve their issues so that they weren't in Dutch with IRS anymore, or weren't having any more of those issues.
That's awesome.
They could kind of get back on the right foot.
Yeah.
And that was so awesome.
Yeah. It's got to feel so good.
As soon as I got the call from the CPA, because he called me up and was asking me a few final questions before he sent things out, and I got the email that everything was done, I was so excited.
Dude, that's awesome.
Because I knew that, this person, it's a small business. It's a small business. Someone who's working hard. This is their passion.
Yeah.
This is what they do for a living. This is how they pay their bills.
Yep.
And they got in trouble because they trusted somebody in my position that did wrong for them. And that hurt my feelings personally. I was like, that's not how this is supposed to be. We're supposed to be taking care of people.
That's right. That's awesome.
That that was really cool. I've been able to kind of step in and help a couple different organizations be aware of certain aspects that they weren't aware of. And so we're in the process of correcting some of those things. But it's the different interactions that I've been getting with all the different clients I have. It's a lot more personable than what I did before.
Yeah.
Because what I did before was all about the number of people I could get through the door, and now it's about how much can I take care of each individual person.
That's awesome, man.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. That's awesome, man. You can hear the passion for what you're doing. Yeah. It's loud and clear that this is what you're supposed to be doing, man. That's got to feel really awesome.
It does, because it's something that I'm good at.
Yep.
It's something that I actually like doing because it's like a big puzzle.
Yeah.
Put it together and everything. And it's something that helps people.
Yep.
That need that.
Yep.
For one, and then I also I get to be with my family more often.
That's awesome.
Because I can work when I need to work, and I can be off when I need to be off.
That's awesome.
So it's just been the perfect balance.
That's awesome, man. You're doing it, man. Congratulations. Obviously pulling for you in every aspect, here for you. Pumped to be working with you. Excited to see what we can come up with on a monthly basis, just to kind of tell the story further, tell some of these success stories, have some testimonials. Just get Book or Do It out there to the people, because you're providing something that, like, beyond the retail, beyond the restaurant, beyond inventory, like pretty much anybody could benefit from a quick glance from Book or Do It. So just super pumped for you, man. And thank you again for, supporting STP. It means a lot to have folks like you put your name on what we're doing, and get a little emotional on these, just because it means a lot when people get it. There's a lot of validation when someone, says, here, like, I see what you're doing and I want to be part of it. So it means a lot, man. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you for taking the plunge with me. Yeah. We're gonna have some fun with it. This is obviously just like the intro, telling folks everything, but keep an eye out. Be sure, or plug away where people can find you and all that real quick.
I've never been big on social media.
I don't blame you.
Which
Feel
is
you,
something
brother.
I am trying to fix.
Yep. We're going to help with that.
At some point, you're going to find a Book or Do It Facebook page, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Best place to find me, though, if you just look up Book or Do It.
Yep.
On Google.
Spell it out.
BOOKERDOIT.
Yep.
Book or Do It.
Yep.
So if you go to bookordoit.com, or if you just look me up, Book or Do It, in Google, you should probably be able to find me.
Love it.
But reach out, give me a call, shoot an email. I do free reviews, financial reviews.
Nice.
So if you want somebody just to take a second look, that's what I do.
Nice.
And then, you know, you don't have to pay me until I actually start moving stuff around in the books.
Got you, man. BookerDoIt.com, y'all. You heard it here first. Not really. He's been out here, but pumped for you, man. It's an honor to have you be part of what we're doing, like I said, and looking forward to push and record with you, man, because you got a very needed service and a passion for what you're doing that needs to be celebrated, and I'm pumped for you, man. It's going to be really fun. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. For more information about all the things we got going here at Spread the Positive, please check us out, spreadthepositive.net. Get involved with our underwriting, advertising, sponsorship program, start a podcast, or if you just want to support the mission, reach out on spreadthepositive.net or any of our social media handles at Spread the Positive. Look forward to connecting with y'all and giving y'all another fire episode on the next one. Thank you, and we will see you then. Let's go.